Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Advanced Credit Union's virtual AGM. My name is Jackie Littlewood. I work for the Trade Association, ABCOL, and we're just helping to support with the technology this morning. And I'll just hand over to Phil to formally open the AGM.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Right, welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us. This is our second virtual AGM, and we're very grateful to ABCOL, our trade body, and Jackie particularly, who's hosting us today. We're using their technology to enable this, and we used it last year, and we'd much rather be in person, and hopefully next year we'll be able to do that, but this year we're doing virtual. We are trying, for the first time, a little bit of hybrid as well. We have got some of our staff directors and a couple of guests at our office in Birmingham. I can't see them and I can't show them to you, but they are there. So we've got a few things to run through for you today. I've put the agenda on the screen, and there's some handouts for today, and we'll be adding a few more documents to our website once we've completed today, including recording from today as well. So that'll all be available to everybody. So if you miss anything, you can come back and ask any more questions that you may well have. And on questions, do please ask questions. We want to try and be as open as and interactive as we can. If you've got any questions or issues or understand something, then do please ask. Particularly ask Ken on the finance things, because he has all the answers. We've got Faye and Sam in the background, and they'll be monitoring any questions that come up. So we may not answer your question immediately, but we do know it's there. And if there's a situation where we're not able to answer immediately, then we'll get back to you with any responses. Okay. So just a quick run through the AGM agenda. We'll review the minutes from last year's AGM. We've got a little presentation that Emily has put together, year in review. I've got a little report from myself. We've got a report from our two loan officers, Emma and Glenn, just to explain a bit more about our loan process. Ken will talk through our accounts. We've got a few formal things that we need to do in terms of approving the accounts, approving the dividend, and appointing our auditors. I'll say a little bit about our future, where we are this year, and also another vote. We'll talk a little bit about Circulate. We do have a few people from Circulate Credit Union as guests with us today, and I'll explain a bit more about that at the time. And also election of officers. We've got 3 co-opted directors that we need to formally adopt onto our board. Right, Jackie, can I just raise a query with Faye, who's saying that she can't see the questions? Does Faye need to be on the staff side?
Yeah, I've just brought Faye across now and gave her access.
Right, so she should be able to see that now.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I've just made the error of sending it to all the audience instead of just the panelists. So I apologise for that. So
okay.
I haven't. Just brought Faye across, so she should be able to see the questions now.
Right. Okay. Now I need to try and work out how to share the minutes from last meeting. Let me just find those here.
If you open them out of the handouts, Phil, it's probably quicker, or find them on your own screen.
Right. Okay. So open it from a handout. Would that be easier?
Sorry, Phil.
Just a second. I'm just doing a bit of rearranging here. So I need to open it from the handouts. Is that right?
You can. Yeah, it's quicker. Yeah. If you just open it, it'll show. It'll automatically show because you're sharing your screen.
Right. Okay. I can't see which bit I'm sharing at the moment. Let's work there. No. So I've got it open as another window. Right. Okay. Okay, so I've got it open in another window. Is there a way for me to switch sharing? Share application. Oops. Ah, there we go. Right, I think I've got it. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let me just make that a bit bigger so I can see it. Right. Okay. So these are our minutes from last year. I'll do a quick run through. These have been available, so hopefully you've been able to see these for those of you who were here last year. We had directors and staff plus 26 members, which I think was a record attendance last year. So I'll just scroll through a bit slowly. Is that visible? Can I just check with Helen and Ken? Yes. Okay. No, that's good. Right. Just scroll down. Yeah, last year Sam did a presentation about our credit control process and how we support members who get behind on their loans. And we talked through some of our performance data and also our the finance components. And we approved a dividend of 0.5%. And we had a bit of a change with some directors, with some stepping down and some new people coming on. And yeah, one change we made last year was for our internal audit process. We'd moved that to an external accountancy firm, a specialist in credit union. And so we've been working with those for the last 12 months or so. Right, okay, and that was everything. Does anybody have any questions, particularly from the regarding minutes from last year?
There's nothing coming.
Just give you a second for any questions. Okay, I can't see any questions coming through. Shall we go ahead to a vote, Jackie?
Okay. We've got 67% of members that voted so far, 83% saying yes and 17% abstain as they didn't attend. Trying to leave it running a little bit longer. That's 72% of members that have voted now. And we've got 23 members on at the moment. Are you happy for that vote to be closed?
Okay. Okay, so do we have poll results? Okay, right. So I think I can see that we've got 77% voting for yes to approve the minutes from last year, and 23 abstain, didn't attend last year. Okay, so we'll take that as carried. Okay, next thing we'd like to show to you is our year in review. It's a little video that Emily and I think some assistants from Nathan have put together. Now, I think, Jackie, are you in a position to play that one?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Got control out there, Phil.
Okay. Fine. Let me just. That's the right one there. That's the right one.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, that's quite funky. We've used a different tune. I need to turn my volume down. Anyway, I hope that was encouraging for you, and it's quite pleasing, I think, to see some of the things that we've been able to do despite COVID and lockdown and lots of uncertainty. We're still able to grow and to improve life for our members. Just move forward the right way. Then that one. Okay, then it's me and a bit of this. Right, okay. Something else that we've tried new this year is to create a brochure. I'm just looking at the handouts. I can't see the brochure's in there actually. But it is on our website. If you go to our homepage. Right, okay, yeah, thanks. We're trying a few new things every year, and this is one thing that we've seen lots of other organisations and credit unions doing. So we're trying to create a more accessible brochure, just to explain a bit more about who we are, what we do, some of our important bits of data. So if you do go to our website after the meeting today, and then on the front page there's a link to the AGM today, and there's lots of documents in there, and we'll add some more things once this is completed today. Then we'll add the videos and other presentations in there too. So a couple of things I wanted to say to you, and one of the things that we've put in our brochure is little summary from me, and really I wanted to focus on things other than the money side of it. And as a credit union, we're reminded of our purpose, and that we're a people business, not a money business, and everything we do is about supporting our members and our community and enabling people not just to survive, even though that is important and that's something we do, but also to go beyond that and to flourish. So one of the questions that we've been asking our borrowers as part of their loan process, we have a bit of a feedback questionnaire from following that is, has your loan improved your life? And I think we had that in some of our presentations, and overwhelmingly people say yes, which is really encouraging. It's great. The last thing we want to do is make things worse for people. We're here to try and improve life for everybody. And with the uncertainty of COVID and everything else that's happening in the world, we can just see that the role of a credit union is more important than ever. And so through this year, a lot of the work that we've been doing has really been in the background, something that you won't really have any real contact with really is, so we've shifted our back-end system onto a Citrix cloud system, so improve our cyber resilience. We've also improved our phone system. I was aware that phones are always a big issue with people, and the system we've changed to now gives a lot more control and actually see what's going on. And it helps us to have a bit more flexibility and resilience for the future. One project that we've started, and maybe touch on this a bit later on, is we started working with Zoho, which we hope will enable us to have a much better interaction relationship with our members, improve our communication, and try and automate some of the contact points that we have with people. And just to introduce some things to help people improve their financial situation and life generally. Something again a bit in the background, but I hope you'll see the benefits of this. Is we've been doing some work on staff training and development. We've introduced a book club, and we've spent lots of interesting time talking about. There's a very excellent book from Stephen Covey called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and lots of really interesting conversations with staff. And I think it's helped shift our mindset a little bit in terms of how we deal with people, how we deal with each other, and consequently how the whole credit union works. And so you will hear us talking about trying to get a win-win. It's important that anything that we do is also beneficial for our members and also beneficial for our other partners. We're not just trying to sort of maximise and squeeze out as much as we can from the credit union. It's trying to create that win-win environment. Something that we're very proud of, we've had 2 of our staff members have entered into the ABCOL CU Futures over the years. Emily did it this last year, and both of them have actually come first. They've been in the winning team with the winning presentations, and Emily followed Nathan's lead and won that this year. So part of her prize, she'll be off to Colorado to meet the credit union conference out there later on this year. So big congratulations to Emily. Another thing that we've started to do is, as we've got bigger and more capable as a credit union, it's important that we're then giving back into our sector and into our community. So again, Emily's stepped up and is on the committee for the Credit Union Young Professionals, which is a fairly recent network, but become really important. They are the future of our sector, and they get some excellent training and some excellent networking, and we are a cooperative sector, and we do talk to each other, and we do share our good practices and good ideas, and other credit unions share that with us, so we can elevate the standards across the sector. So that's been really important. Something that I've been doing is I'm now involved in the West Midlands Credit Union Forum, just looking at how we share best practices and information across the credit unions across the Midlands, and I think there's 16 across the wider Midlands, from Shropshire and West Midlands region. So we're very pleased about those sorts of things that we've been doing. Oh, here we go. And for the first time, we've done a staff photo. We had a staff photo shoot a couple of weeks ago with Reeves, the firm we're working with, which again, I'll talk about it a little bit later on. And this was the first time that all our staff were able to meet together for 2 years. So quite a day. It's nice for us to have some photos of who everybody is. So hopefully you'll be able to see that a little bit more in the things that we share and communicate, and just show you who we are. And for all of the credit union, we are the people who make everything happen. This is it. But it's a growing team. We will have more staff and volunteers and directors as the years progress. If anybody has any questions, then feel free to add those in to the. I can't see that very clearly, so if there's anything in there that I need to answer, if you could let me know.
There isn't, Phil. The girls are monitoring it.
Right. Okay. That's great. Can I move on then to the lending report from Glenn and Emma?
This is the next video.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Bear with me.
Hi, we're Advanced Credit Union's loans officers, and we wanted to take a deep dive into our lending process.
Advanced Credit Union is a responsible lender. This means we'll not lend to people if a loan will only cause them more financial hardship. Our overall goal is to help our members to flourish, to get them through difficult times, help them back on their feet, and ultimately give them financial choices and freedom.
This diagram shows how credit unions work. Members' savings become another member's loan. This ensures savings are recycled back into the community.
Our interest rates are affordable to our members and vary depending on the amount borrowed and repayment time. £413 was our average loan paid to members during the financial year. £62 would be the amount paid in interest, making the total repayable £575.
In the last financial year, we have lent 5,809 loans, of which 706 were to new members.
Our loan purpose has changed over the years, and now our members borrow for Christmas, home improvements and household expenses. Our members' feedback explains that they keep returning to ACU for the borrowing needs because our application process is easy, with the use of open banking giving us access to their 3-month statements, and due to our quick decisioning time.
We aim to assess members' loan applications as quickly as possible. 46% of members receive their decision on the same day and 77% within 2 days.
The majority of our members repay their loans through their child benefit. This ensures payments are received as the CHB office directs payments to us for this purpose. Members without children who are on to receive child benefit can repay through a standing order. Furthermore, if a member works for one of our 7 payroll deduction partners, members can also opt for their repayments to come directly from their salary too.
This is how our loan repayments work. The payment comes into us and is split between the loan repayment, attached shares, and any remainder goes into available savings.
Now let's look at what our members think. 91% of people say that their loan from Advanced Credit Union has improved their life.
82.5% think our loans are great quality. 85% of people say they love their attached shares. Thank you for listening.
Okay, sorry, just trying to click before beyond that. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. That's back with me. Right. In terms of performance headlines, wanted really just to hand that on to Ken. There's one thing really I wanted to mention is about our membership. It's been growing quite steadily over these years, and actually this figure's a little bit inaccurate because we keep a tight lid on members coming in and members leaving, and we try and keep our membership very active. So if somebody hasn't used their account for 12 months, then we'll get in touch with them, and we will encourage them to keep saving with us. If credit union's not for them anymore, then that's absolutely fine. We'll close their account and not trouble them. So even though our numbers have been going up, actually about 6% of our membership have joined within the last 5 years, which is very encouraging. Well, we've got a very young, active membership. And we've been really pleased as we've seen that membership extending across the Birmingham region. I haven't got my slide in here for this, but the one thing that we've been monitoring that we're very pleased with is that the UK is split into postcode regions, and there's an allocation for each postcode region for multiple deprivation, areas of multiple deprivation. And because we are particularly beneficial to people on lower incomes, we've been really pleased when we're seeing the data on that, is that a lot of our new joiners particularly are from areas of multiple deprivation, people in the where there's areas of lower income. So that's been really pleasing for us to be able to see that we're hitting the areas where people need us the most. I'll get the right thing to click. Right, here we go. Ken, are you okay with doing the presentation of the accounts?
And we can't hear you.
I can't hear Ken.
There you are.
You're on.
Right, sorry, I'll start again. Yes, Phil, I'll do it, but if you do the slides, push the slides forward when I ask you, that'll be great. I'm Ken Agnew, I'm Finance Manager at Advanced Credit Union. Good morning. This is about, sorry, this is the very dull bit where you all have to look at grids of numbers for a while. The first thing to point out to you there is that the credit union has grown in the year to the 30th September 2021 from 3.9 million to 4.3 million. So it's good, healthy growth. It's not the volume of growth that we've seen in prior years, but we have been affected by COVID. I think during the 2020 year, we saw a lot of savings come in because times were very uncertain, and that's been less this year. We've seen not so much of a ramp up in the share values, but you've still managed to save over £300,000 more this year, which is great to see. But you'll also see that our debtors haven't risen by the same degree. Our debt, meaning the loans we have out on loan haven't risen by the same value. So that's gone up from 1.3 million to 1.39 million. It's a modest rise, and the challenge in the year was that the lending demand wasn't as high as we would have liked. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see that this is our cash, our debtors, meaning the loans we have out, and our shares. So shares have continued to rise. The green line has continued to rise. This graph goes over 2 years. So while our shares have risen, therefore our cash has risen, but we haven't been lending the same volume or the same proportion of our capital out as loans during the year. So that has two effects. One is that we just keep control of a mountain of cash. And we have, at the year end, we had just under £3 million worth of cash, which is a shame because the interest rates we get on that are very, very low. And you'll see the trend line on, which is the dotted line on the blue line at the bottom, which is the loans, is actually going downwards, which is a problem because as we lend less of our capital, it produces less income for us, which then produces less profits, which means it limits our ability to pay a dividend. And we end up with a lot of cash, a lot of our capital, your capital, doing nothing for us. But we're taking steps to remedy that. Next slide. Right. The good thing is that the balance sheet of the credit union is extremely healthy. And we have a requirement from the FCA that we hold at least 5% of our capital, the value of our balance sheet, as reserves, and the credit union actually holds 10.7%, and we want to hold it at that kind of value, so that we're substantially above the requirement. As soon as we get near or below that requirement, the FCA and the PRA take a very keen interest in us. So we'd rather avoid too much hassle with the regulators. And we know that as we grow larger, once we get to £15 million or 10,000 members, then that requirement rises. So we'd like to maintain our reserves above 10% so that we meet that requirement when it rises, when we get that large. We're extremely liquid, as I said. We've got a lot of cash at the moment, so our liquidity ratio, which is required to be 10%, is actually 75%. And our liquid ratio of payable liabilities, which is a little bit of a technical phrase, but actually means the amount of money we'd actually have to settle if we closed, we've got 96% of that. So in the extraordinarily unlikely event that we close the credit union, our savers would get 96% of their money back immediately. That's before we've collected the loans that are owed to us. So we're very, very healthy, which is great. And we're able to weather storms like COVID very, very well because of these reserves and these ratios. Next slide. Right. So this is our income and expenditure account for the 2 years. As you'll see, our income went up slightly, but our administrative expenses were down, and we'll have a closer look at the administrative expenses in a second. So our operating surplus actually went up from 70,000 to 92. We paid less tax because we only pay tax on interest received from banks, and interest received from banks went down despite the fact that our cash went up because interest rates were at an all-time low. So our surplus for the year is £92,000 compared to £69,000 after tax last year, which, given the circumstances, is a very healthy result. And I'll tell you why it came out like that. If we go to the next slide, we'll look at the income. You see that loan interest was only very, very slightly up on last year, just over £2,000 up. And our bank deposit interest was way down on the previous year because they dropped the interest rates. We did receive a little more grant income. And the grant income relates to money we do pay out. So it's an equal and opposite effect on the expenditure. So, you know, an increase in grants received doesn't go straight into profit. It just means we've spent more of the money we were sponsored to spend by big grant giving organisations. Other revenue is slightly up. Other revenue is all kinds of things. Charges we make for withdrawals, charges we make for membership fees, and things like that. And it's just slightly up on the year, but then the membership is up and the number of transactions was up too. The next slide is, I hope you can all make that out. I would encourage everybody to go to the handouts and get the full set of accounts, download the full set of accounts so that you can read them. This is actually the last page of 26. And it's a detailed look at our expenditure. You'll see that the employment costs were down during COVID, of course, we were doing less overtime, but also we had an extra member of staff in 2020 who left during the first wave of COVID and was not replaced. So we've saved a bit there. Insurance is up because our membership is up. We pay insurance on your deposits according to the value of them, and it's bound to rise along with your savings. Rent rates and service charges up because that contains 3 months of the new Birmingham office. Office running costs are up also because of the same thing, but they also contain our computer charges, and we moved everything, all our computers to a remote cloud location, so the costs of that are included there. Legal and professional fees are up because of the legal fees on taking on the new lease. But the biggest reduction in cost is impairment expenses. We had a bad year in 2020 for impairment expenses. That is loans that went bad and we had to write off, and the increase in our bad debt provision. And we've had an exceptionally good year in 2021. To put it into context, that's £32,000. It compares to £2.8 million in loans. So it's a very, very low percentage. It's less than 2% of our loans don't get collected. We're the envy of many a bank and a lot of credit unions in that. So we're Sam particularly works hard on member support to make sure that people keep in touch when they have trouble repaying their loans, and that's a major success story for us and for our members, I think, because it means that people's credit ratings are maintained and a healthy financial state is maintained for our members, which is great. Next slide. I think that's the end of me, actually. Yes. Now the next thing, I do encourage everybody to go and get the full set of accounts. They're very long, and there's a lot of very boring guff in it. There's 2 things I'd like to say about it. There's a director's report in there which explains more in more detail what's actually happened as far as the finance is concerned. And there is the auditor's report, which is very important. We pay a lot of money for our audit, and it's important to us that they give us a clean bill of health, and they have done. And you can read that audit report where they say there is no reason after their extensive investigations to believe there's anything wrong with the numbers that you're seeing, which is great. We like a clean audit report, and that's what we got. And so that brings us to the next point, which I'll hand back over to Phil for.
Nice. Okay. So this will be another poll. We're recommending that we reappoint Hallidays as our external auditors. We have used them for quite a number of years now, and I have to say that they've been very good for us. They're very probing. We've got a policy where we know where some of our issues are, and we'll disclose that. We'll say, well, we're not sure about this, or we're unhappy with various things. They will always go a bit beyond that and find other things that we haven't thought of, which is very beneficial. That's why we pay them the money that we pay them. They've also been very beneficial to us in terms of some other support, conversations we've had about with the HR departments and with their IT departments, and some of the business training that they've done, particularly during lockdown. Normally they run things from their office in Manchester, but we benefited a lot from some of their training at that time too. So we're quite happy to recommend Hallidays again. So if we can go to a poll, and if we happy to confirm that. Again, if anybody has any questions, do please add them into the question box, and we'll try and answer those.
There are 23 members on, and 72% of those 23 members have voted it's unanimous yes. Do you want to just leave the poll up for the minute?
Yeah, I'll just wait for the last few votes to come in. If you're able to vote, then please do. You can see we're nearly there.
So that's 83% of members that have voted.
Right, okay, so we've had 88% have voted, and we're 100% have voted to accept Halliday's be reappointed by our auditors, so we shall proceed with that. Right, okay, so another vote for you. Slightly more pleasing one, maybe. Approval of the dividend. We've paid a dividend for most years, for the last 5 or 6 years. And last year, for the first time, we dropped that down to 0.5%. And we're going to do that again this year. Really would rather get that back up to 1% if we can. And it's the reasoning for that is really down to uncertainty. And looking at how our lending is going, we would rather just be able to retain some of that for the moment and allow us to improve our operating capacity, and the lending will increase as part of that, and we should be able to increase our dividend back up to the 1% that we've done previously. I would say though, looking at the bank market, 0.5% is pretty good right now. Interest rates rose earlier this week, so we're likely to see some bank rates increasing alongside that. But if you've got unsecured, if you've got savings to invest out in the market, 0.5% is not too bad at all. So on our accounts, that will cost us about 17,000, which we budget for that as part of our planning. It normally ends up slightly less than that. And so that will get paid to you. If we approve that today, then that will get paid to you in the next couple of weeks, and we'll put a note on people's messaging to confirm that that's been paid to you, and you should see that on your internet banking statements. So if anybody has any questions, please add them into the box there. Otherwise, we shall go ahead for another poll.
So we've got to be 82% of the members that have voted, and it's a majority yes. Now go up to 88% of members that have voted.
So we've got 88% voted, 93% voted for yes, and 7% voted for no. So if we take that as majority carried. Okay. Now, am I still sharing the screen?
You are, yeah.
Am I? Right, okay. Okay. So another vote, I'm afraid. This one is to approve the accounts. Ken's talked through some of the key figures there. The full annual report and financial statements is in the handouts, so feel free to download that and review that if you haven't already. So if we can move to a poll again to approve the accounts. Okay, are there any more votes to come in on that? I've got 76% have voted. If we have any more.
Hopefully it's 2% now, which has been the
Okay.
charity number. So unanimous, yes.
So we've got 82% have voted and 100% have voted to approve the account. So we'll take that as majority carried. Right. Okay. Let me just move on. Taking forward our business priorities, 2021, 2022, so our future. Right. Okay. A couple of things just to say on this. We as a credit union, we are growing, whether we like it or not. People like us, they tell their friends, and we just keep getting new members, which is great. That's what we're here to do. And our job is to make sure we keep all that in balance and make sure all the numbers add up. And as I've been saying to staff recently, the more effective, the more efficient we are, then the more effective we become. The more we can do within our resources, the more we can help our members and help our community, and consequently we'll continue to grow. So a few things would, on our priorities for this year. One is about strengthening our governance and internal supervision. We've been doing more on broad director recruitment, and that will continue. We've got some names to bring to you for formally bringing onto our board a little bit later, and also our internal audit process. During COVID, we didn't have any volunteers working with us. We've just started to bring that back online again, and we've got Alexander Sloan we outsourced to run our internal auditing, but it's also beneficial to have some volunteers working internally with us to just make sure that we're doing everything that we need to be doing. A few other projects which we've already started on is branding review, and branding review is not just changing the logo. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a full review about who we are, what we stand for, how we communicate, and we're really pleased we've found a local PR firm, even though they don't call themselves just a PR firm, and they've been very engaged with us and helping to talk us through our definitions, and they've helped produce our brochure for us and did our photo shoot for us as well recently. Reviewing our back-end process, this always seems to be a never-ending thing. We're always looking at ways in which we can try and make our back-end system more secure, more efficient, more effective, and more automated. As much as we can do, if we can try and automate things, it makes life a lot easier for us and allows us to comply with our regulatory requirements more effectively, and also does improve our customer service, allows it easier for members to save and to borrow and turn loan decisions around more rapidly, be able to do share withdrawals faster and more easily. So that's a project that we're working on again with a firm called Target Integration, who've had experience working with other credit unions too. So we're early days on that process, but it's been very beneficial having an external firm advising us and guiding us on what's possible. particularly using our Zoho package that we've been using recently. Two more things. I'll get the slide to change. Here we go. Right. This will be familiar to the people who actually sat in this building right now. This is our location at 118 Corporation Street in Birmingham City Centre. This is way beyond our expectations. We never thought we'd ever be able to afford a unit like this in central Birmingham, and it's given us an amazing opportunity just to redefine who we are and how we present ourselves. This will be hopefully a bit of a springboard, allow us to increase our membership even further. And the three things I've been saying about this is it's made us a lot more accessible. We cover the whole of 1.8 million people across Birmingham, the Midlands and Solihull Borough, and about 1 million of those can reach this building within about 20 minutes. It's very accessible for a lot more people. It's also very visible. We're right by the buses, and a very short distance from the trains. We're in the shopping area. There's the Banks Building Societies just along the road from Corporation Street, so we're a very visible location. The issue we have right now is all the roadworks going on outside, but once that's sorted, it'll be a lot more accessible. It's also been interesting because the fact that we've got a location and a shop front in the city centre, it's improved our credibility. When we talk to other partners, I think it's very beneficial that we can say we are in Birmingham City Centre. We're on a par now with the other high street banks, with Lloyds and Barclays and Metro and Nationwide. We're all in the same area. So that's going to be a really interesting opportunity for us. Hopefully we're going to be able to use that for lots of other things. One development we have done with this is that there will be no cash. We won't be taking cash, and we won't be doing any cash withdrawals. This will be purely about introducing new members to us, and helping people to do their loans and be able to communicate with people and help them to manage their money well. So watch this space, lots of interesting things going to be coming out of that. The next thing to mention is about Circulate, and we do have a vote on this one. This is a conversation we've been having for a few years, really. Across Birmingham, there are quite a few very small credit unions, and for us as Advanced Credit Union, we were formed from a merger of 5 credit unions across North Birmingham, for King's Standing, Sutton Coldfield, Castle Vale, Saltley, probably one more, forget which one, Erdington. So that's at that time that enabled us to continue growing and allowed us to then get a location in Erdington and to employ some staff and be able to use that as a springboard to grow to the size we are now. Circulate have been based in Ladywood for longer than we've been operating, and they merged a couple of years ago with another small credit union, but they've remained quite a bit smaller than us. And over the years, we've had various conversations about how we can best support them in credit union in the community of Ladywood and beyond. And we've been approached and been talking to them about merging Circulate with Advanced Credit Union. The situation with Circulate is that they have 2 staff working for them, and they've got a customer counter in the shopping area in Ladywood. I've got some photos up there. Quite a bit smaller than us. It's about an assets of savings of about 1.4 million, with a £600,000 loan book. And what we've found as Advanced Credit Union is that now we've got to the size that we're at, it becomes a lot easier to get build in efficiencies and be able to become more profitable. And I think that's something that circulators struggle with in recent years. So we think that this will be beneficial for us as Advanced Credit Union, and also beneficial for Circulate, for them to be merged with us. And the benefit for Ladywood is that it allows their back-end systems to incorporate within ours, so it makes it more efficient. There's some duplication of costs, so we'll be able to make some savings from that. And also we believe it'll improve customer service for Ladywood members. And for us as Advanced Credit Union, we've always felt it's very important that we're part of our community, and I think we're quite humbled really by some of the work that Circulate does in terms of their levels of engagement with members and community and how they serve people, and we want to try and bring on board some of that knowledge and experience as we seek to do more to engage with our community across Birmingham. And as part of that, we've co-opted 2 of their directors onto our board just to be able to ease that transition as a merger and to enable it, just make it that little bit easier for us to merge our different policies, procedures and rules and systems, and before we make that final step of moving the member records, member data from their system onto our system. We have gone through this process before a number of times, and so we're fairly familiar with it. There's a few technical things that we have to do around that, some regulatory issues we need to be mindful of. We've been in touch with the regulators and keep them informed about progress with this. And as part of that process, we do need to have a formal vote from the AGM today to approve that merger. We will then continue to do the due diligence and the work that needs to be done to make that happen. So anything could happen really from between here and then, but really from our perspective as a credit union, then we think this is something that will be beneficial for us and beneficial for Ladywood and for Circulate. If anybody has any questions, do please please add them into the question field. I'm just trying to see it myself. Right, I'm not getting any questions.
No, there's nothing typed in at the moment, Phil.
No, okay. Can we proceed to the poll on that one? Hopefully I got the polls in the right order. That'll be the next one. Come up.
Yeah, we've just missed one that for the report, okay. But we can go back to that one.
Sorry, which one have I missed?
The reports from the CEO and the finance manager. Do you approve those reports?
We need to approve those.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we approve the annual report and financial statements, which I think is sufficient. Where that includes the other reports.
Do you include that one? That's fine.
Yes.
So
yes. I think that's fine.
Okay. Going down to the merger one.
Yeah. Can I just add here, the purpose of this poll, of this vote, is really to give for the members to give us permission to proceed should we decide to. The merger itself is still subject to a lot of negotiation and inspection. So this vote doesn't mean that this merger will happen. It's simply giving us permission to proceed with it should it be. Should we decide that it's a good idea in the future? Because the merger itself hasn't been agreed.
Comes straight in at 88% of members that have voted, and it's 100% yes.
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. So 88% and 100% are in approval for that. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
As Ken said, we'll continue with that process. There's been lots of talk in credit unions about mergers and strategic mergers, and because it is that recognition that as much as many of us got involved in credit unions when we were encouraged very small, very community focused, actually the way to really make these things work in a very practical way is to be larger, but also trying to retain that community focus as well. So we'll continue with that process. We do have some guests from Circulate in our office in Birmingham, so hopefully they'll be pleased about that. Yes, hello. I think I might have a very large head on the screen in Birmingham office. Right, so there we go. Right, okay. We do have three of our board members we need to formally approve onto our board. Helen is here. She's hopefully you can be seen. We've got 5 board members. Helen, who is here. Richard, I'm afraid, wasn't able to make it this morning. Thomas, who is in our Birmingham office at the moment, and also Geraldine and Jackie are also in Birmingham office. I'm afraid I haven't got photos for 3 of you. We will sort that out for next year. We'll get that right. So we're really pleased we've got a mix of people on our board. Helen, do you want to, I haven't prompted you or anything, do you want to say anything particularly? Feel free to say no.
No, it's fine. I just want to say thank you and welcome me to the board, and I'm really looking forward in sort of helping sort of execute and support you in the vision that we want to do for the credit union. So, and I'm looking forward to working with all the new members of the board to achieve that.
That's great. So one thing we try to get right with our governance and our board is a real mix of people with different skills and capabilities, and as hard as you try and keep the little pyramid working, people step off, people step on, and you have to keep jiggling it around to make it work. So we're going to continue with our board recruitment, and we're really pleased that we've got 5 people. I think it was a really good solid foundation in terms of compliance experience, and in governance and business operation, and also particularly with Geraldine and Jackie, who are currently directors of Circulate, bringing their depth of knowledge of working in credit unions and volunteering for many years, and also being heavily involved in community as well, will bring a really beneficial perspective to our board makeup. So we do have another vote, is to formally try and get a screen to change. There we go. Right. So we do need to have a formal vote for Thomas, Geraldine, and Jackie Parker to be formally adopted onto our board. How that works is they get co-opted onto our board, and then when that 3-year term comes up, then they stand for election at the AGM, which is what we're doing today. So these 3 people will then serve a 3-year term, and in our rules the idea is that you say a 3-year term, and then you can stand for election 3 times, and then really after 9 years that should be plenty for anybody, and time to step away, do something else more interesting hopefully, and then maybe get involved again as and when it's appropriate. So can I put this to a poll? I think we do these one at a time, is that right, Jackie? Yeah. So Thomas, if we can have a poll raised for Thomas to be voted onto our board.
That's coming at 88%. It's unanimous yes for Thomas.
Okay, right. So we'll take that as carried. 88% voted, 100% for yes. And I think it's Geraldine next. Right, I can see 81% done there.
Okay.
Do we have any more votes? No. Okay, we've got 81%, and 100% have voted to that. I'm told I've done a spelling mistake. I'm not sure I have. Right, okay, and then the last one is for Jackie Parker. Okay, we've got 75% voted. Any more votes to come in there? Okay, we've got 88. Oh, 94%. Very nearly 100% have voted. That's very encouraging. Okay, and I'm pleased to say that 100% have voted in favour. So welcome to Thomas, Geraldine, and Jackie onto our board. So as part of our board development, we do training and we develop people, and we don't. So we're a learning organisation. We don't stand still, and we need to make sure that we're complying with the regulatory requirements and making sure that Advanced Credit Union is operating as well as we reasonably can be. Do I have anything else? What's next? I think I missed anything out. Right, okay, now so I've done future. Okay, I feel like I've missed something. Somebody tell me that there's nothing important that I've missed out.
I can't think of anything.
No, okay, that's good. That's good. If anybody does have any more questions, then do please please add them in the chat.
I'm just checking the questions now. It looks like everything's been answered by the girls.
No.
I think nothing else been typed in, Phil, no.
Okay, right, okay. This is really good. And for the guys in Birmingham, are there any other questions or issues from there? Type anything in chat.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I'm not getting anything back there.
Face it, no.
Yeah, I think Emily can come in if she needs to.
Okay, that's
Nothing
great.
from us. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think we shall draw our meeting to an end then. We shall go and share a cup of tea. I have mine ready.
Just finished mine.
Thanks very much, everyone, for coming. Next year, we shall endeavour to try and get a face-to-face meeting. We'll try and find a suitable venue for that, and we'll try and move things on and evolve things from what we've done this year and last year, and try and keep improving our AGM process. And we'll look forward to meeting you all next year, and hopefully we'll have some great news to share with you at that time too. Thank you very much, everybody, and goodbye. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.